Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you, and the news headline reads: Tinubu political career bleak as Buhari and the North elite cripple his presidential ambition ahead of 2023. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please continue to subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. Alright, let's look at the news in detail.
As political heavyweights prepare their arsenal for the 2023 presidential elections, it appears that the government of President Muhammadu Buhari has commenced Cold War against Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a 2023 presidential aspirant and national leader of All Progressive Congress. This is due to his recent actions against loyalists and associates of the former governor of Lagos State, and these include removal of his loyalists from office. On Tuesday, Nigerians were shocked to hear that Barrister Moise Banere, a former loyalist of Tinubu, has been relieved of his job as the chairman of Asset Management Company of Nigeria, AMCON, by President Muhammadu Buhari, and has been replaced with Mr. Edward Adamu. The shock was because Banere was only nominated and confirmed as AMCON chairman in July and October 2018, respectively, and his 5-year tenure was supposed to elapse in October 2023. Prior to Banere's sack, President Buhari removed Mr. Babatunde Fowler, a staunch loyalist of Senator Tinubu, as chairman of Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), and replaced him with Mr. Mohammed. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, a close associate of Tinubu, was not spared of Buhari's sledgehammer. Only this year alone, he has been relieved of his position as the chairman of Social Investment Program and the chairman of Economic Management Team of the government. Also, the National Emergency Management Agency that was domiciled in his office was taken away from him and moved to a newly created Ministry of Disaster Management. As if that humiliation was not enough, all federal appointments from Osinbajo's Ogun State, including the only ministerial appointment from the state, was given to loyalists of Senator Ibikunle Amosu, a political rival of both the Vice President and Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Furthermore, Buhari appeared to have extended his Cold War to the family of Bola Tinubu, judging from the viral video that hit the internet 3 weeks ago, where he was seen ignoring the repeated greetings of Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the wife of Asiwaju Tinubu, while acknowledging the salutation of others and exchanging pleasantries with them. While not trying to sound like an alarmist, I believe that it is not a coincidence that the recent purge of Tinubu loyalists from government is happening just days after the launch of Tinubu Media Team, a group that promotes the 2023 presidential bid of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. We must admit that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has paid his dues in the All Progressive Congress, and his aspiration to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari at the expiration of his tenure in 2023 is within his right as citizen. We also recognize that Tinubu has the financial might, political structure, and charisma to prosecute his campaign for the presidency or any other elective office. He has the loyalty of Comrade Adams Oshomole, the embattled national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, as well as the support of the people of the Southwest. He also enjoys sympathy of most people in the Southeast and North Central part of Nigeria. But if he really desires to actualize his 2023 presidential election ambition within APC, he has to either win the confidence of President Buhari or be prepared to go on political warfare with him.
All right, thank you very much. That was a kind of news that fully showcases what is currently happening in APC. And I want to say that one of the things I respect about the North is the fact that those guys are very calculative. They're not just calculative, they are very, very futuristic. If you can cast your mind back to February 2019, when the whole election issue started up and all of that, these guys were only looking at one person as an opposition, not knowing that even within their parties, there is surety that certainly there will be some political rivals, there will be, some opposition. They did everything, like someone like Asiwaju Bola Tinubu did everything within his power in the southeast to ensure that they sweep off all the vote for Buhari, and he even went as far as burning his hand, because I call that an act of burning your hand by welcoming 2 bullion vans into his house, 48 hours. Or was it? 48 hours to the time the presidential election was to take place, which is a clear display of ignorance. Because number one, if you know that you have a political future, there are certain steps that you don't have to take, so that even if there is an internal enemy, he will not use that step that you have taken to indict you. Now, right now, Nigerians have been shouting and talking about, the case of that bullion van, and EFCC came up at one point, and I think they've created a case file for it, which I am only preempting. I am expecting that come 2022, that case file will be rolled out. And by the time that case file is rolled out, already in the, how do they call it? In the Money Laundering Act, they are spelled out
limitations of money.
Punity. That's spell out punishment for those who get involved in money laundering. And a lot of Nigerians were not only talking about money laundering per se when that thing happened. So many people were of the opinion that it was going to be a case of vote buying during that period. I may not know if there had been vivid evidence to the fact that there was vote buying from Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, but hey, these guys are so smart. They will also pick up all those things to use against him, which will cripple him and will make him very, very unuseful come that season. Don't forget that if you listen to some of the discussion by most of the northern elites, in respect to 2023, they had already opened up that power can never leave the north. Most of them denied at first, say power cannot leave them. After I said that they trust Bola Tinubu to some extent and all of that. But the truth of the matter is that there are a lot of people in the north who are already queuing up, waiting for it. So right now, the truth of the matter is that Bola Tinubu have a lot of things to put right. Number one, he has to see how he can go back and be in the good books of President Buhari. He has to be in his good book. Right now, there are a lot of things that are happening in the country which has made him so speechless. If you watch for a while now, he has not spoken. Like the case of the wife, I was expecting that he was going to come up to say, based on maybe religious provisions, we are not supposed to. He was so silent about it because already he has sat back and looked at the future. Babatunde Fowler, that's the FIRS guy, that guy is still part of their clique, that's one of his loyalists.
Put in the job.
And he was thinking that guy would still be there. Possibly, who knows how instrumental that guy would have been. Maybe some cash would have been, some cash will be used and in the process to fix his presidential ambition and all of that. He may have all the charisma. He may have all the, technical knowledge or to fix Nigeria and all of that, but hey, they did not play their cards well. And personally, I preempt that the possibility of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu being the president of Nigeria is very limited. Don't forget that there are other strong contenders coming in right now, and that's why also knowing that he and Adams Oshimole are strong. He's the national leader of APC, while the other one is national chairman. So both of them are working hand in hand. Even the national working committee, all of them are working hand in hand. But now they're not. That's the only part that they cannot fix. So they are clamoring. Just fairly recently, there was a meeting with the president, and they were talking about removal of Oshimole, and the president, after a while, he couldn't take sides with anyone. What, just like any smart dude will do, because there's a future. He just said to them, well, if you guys are insisting that this guy should be kicked out of the position, then you know what to do. Let's just follow the provision of the constitution of APC and just follow it. And maybe if you guys want him to remove, and guess what? Fire me and the rest from the east, from the west, just keep quiet. They were watching. But, by the time they go back home and they now have their own caucus meeting, they will show to them and say, this is it. But even the fire me that we're talking about, don't forget that when EL-RUFAI was like, people were suspecting that he may likely go in as president, one of the people that they were suspecting he was going to go out with was fire me. So fire me here too. I have a political future, so I need to plan myself. I must be careful of what I say, because who knows, tomorrow they may kick out, they may pick me as a vice president, and I wouldn't mind it. So the whole game, there's a lot of game going on, and that's why the news here just said, hey, we are not sure if this guy will still be there.
Well, I see a lot of things happen. In fact, a whole lot is happening. This is getting more interesting. In fact, more interesting than I thought. Now let's start with Sowore. Sowore was not part of the game plan. As it is going on right now, Sowore has come in to reduce the popular votes. Before now it was a case of Siwaju Tinubu, the only person in the north, in the west, southwest, that the Yorubas can look up to, that has the charisma, the pedigree to rule. But right now, this detention of Sowore has made him popular. He's now out of sympathy, out of love, and all that. He was one time he's the presidential aspirant of AAC. Though he didn't win, but with this detention and all that, they have made him very popular. So popular that even international body now know who Sowore is. Tinubu, you can say, okay, Tinubu, okay, one time governor, okay. But Sowore, if you Google Sowore now on internet, Google recognizes his name very fast. Now, that's for Sowore. Sowore has reduced the popular love or the general acceptability of Tinubu in the West. He's now divided. That's one. This was one premonition that Tinubu didn't see from some 3-4 years ago. Now, another one is the fact that if you check our pictures or losing them, you begin to see the flag 2023 ahead of time. This is 2019. 2023 already, the campaign flags have started coming up. You will see that of Asiwaju Tinubu, all manner, they called him BAT 2023, that's Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Then we now see, we also uploaded the one of EL-RUFAI. EL-RUFAI already have his flag bearing for 2023, which means from the north, they're also looking at, so though he's still the governor now, but he's also looking at 2023 to come in as the president. And Senator Shehu, I'm going to show you, you're going to see the feed, what he wrote, we're going to show you. He said, Senator Shehu Sani said something very critical. He said, some people are strategically being sponsored to attack and malign their Siwaju in Hausa language, in Hausa radio, in Kaduna and environs. This certainly couldn't have come from the opposition. Knowing the background of the kind of people being used, some wars begin with sniper. Which means within APC, you don't even go to PDP, within APC, everybody already has started taking their camp. Now, the only place, now, I said that's not enough. They started removing, like my colleague has said, they started removing his strongholds. Fowler, FIRS have been removed, placed by Northern NITS. The AMCON guy that was supposed to have ruled the 2023 has been unanimously removed even ahead of time, put by Northern. Now, Jemi Osibajo here now says he can't really breathe the way he ought to. Now, and he has given almost his all to put in President Muhammad Buhari, probably with the game plan that 2023 allow me rule. But it looks like as if even before time they started crippling it. Now, the worst thing that can happen right now is the fact that he does not even know where to hold. Now he's watching the game plan. Now, the only person who, before now, because the issue would have been a case of an APC, let's remove Oshomole because he did not deliver. He's not performing. But let's be true to ourselves. Leave sentiment, whether by aggression or not, he has delivered. For every state, in fact, he did the almost impossible. Went into South and delivered Bayelsa. Whether by default or not, but Bayelsa now is for APC. Who did it? Whether it is by default, but at least in his time, that was done. But what is now the yardstick for removing him? Now, if you watch those, if you check our feed, we did a video that APC is boiling, where EL-RUFAI and his clique of the North vehemently wants Oshomole down. If Oshomole is down, they'll bring in that person. Sure. Automatically in PDP, in APC.
And that person will influence who will get the ticket.
Yes, who will definitely influence, because that's what Oshomole does. Yeah. He will influence who will pick the ticket by default. And if that happens, in APC, Tinubu is off. Now you begin to see, even before time, they started playing the racketing. And the move is so high. And they're not saying, even to the point that they even put it to the presidency, look, just give the verdict. Oshomole will be out. As a sharp man, like my colleague said, he said, look, we have due processes. I'm sure in their tenants, they have some, if you fault here, you are liable to do it. Because they're now waiting, let him fault. So they will remove him. Now, if Oshomole is removed, it's over. Now you begin to see, but you have sold your people. Yeah. You gave them their all. They have used you. Likelihood of you being done. And that quickly reminds me of one of our person in our feed that says something very unique in his prediction. He said he foresees, even the predictions, that he foresees Saraki. This is just a prophecy in his side. He said he foresees Saraki coming in alignment in another party with Ashiwaju. And he also foresees APC breaking into pieces. Caucus within the caucus is one of the things that can destroy any political vote. It has begun, and all of a sudden, Ashiwaju is no more speaking.
All right, thank you very much. And this is a very interesting one. We are still waiting to see what will happen in the nearest future in APC. But one thing is certain, which I can say I respect so much, is the quietness, because right now that's the only weapon that he needs to use. If you make any statement now, it may be used against him. But guess what? Even the Southwesterners who are, we believe that they are for Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. We can't really say it, because number one, let the truth be told, they're not that smart dudes. They know what to do. Immediately, there's a presidential flag bearer from APC who is from the north. He will pick a Southwesterner who is also very popular, who is very well known, who had done so much for his people for the past 4 years. He will take that one, and before you know, there will be a split in the vote and all of that. So we're still waiting to see as the day goes by. But if you ask me to, I'll say this is overly too early. This whole thing about 2023, we are barely in 2019. Who knows who will be alive, till 2023. Some of them are already very old, and all of that. So I'm just wondering that Buhari is still trying to fix the country, and all of a sudden everybody, hey, I want to be president. They've already their media teams are already out and all of that. It's too early if you ask me. But I believe that it's wise also to start early so that by the time, it comes up to like arguments, say, but I started early. I started showing my intention very, very early and all of that. So let's leave it there. Go to our comment section. What do you think will be the fate of Bola Tinubu?